everybody. I'm John Granato, and that is Lance Zierlein. We're on the bench, mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, please do, so you get all of our content here on YouTube. Hey, Lance, Corey Seager, all right, 10 years, $325 million. Are the Astros now in a position where either it's a $300 million deal for Correa or he's gone?
I mean, I feel like it. I know that you have to have a couple different horses in the race, and if the Astros aren't willing to go to $300 million, then why would the Yankees, for example, offer $300 million? But I still feel like Carlos and his agent are going to hold out and say, look, we don't care how many teams are offering $300 million. That's what we're going to hold out for, and if you don't offer it for us, we're willing to wait all the way through the potential lockout. I mean, are you willing to do that? Are you going to stick to your guns that much? I think that's the one thing that benefits the Astros is you've got a December 1st deadline, and it forces Carlos's agent's hands a little bit.
I wouldn't be surprised, though. 3 years, 110 to 120.
Oh, I'd be shocked if he takes a short-term deal.
I wouldn't be at all, because look at what Simeon at 31 is getting a 7-year, $175 million deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that adds up to $300 million. So Carlos Correa plays well. Carlos bet on himself this year. He could bet on himself for another 3 years. The Astros got Verlander for a couple of years. You're gonna start to get arbitration years with Tucker and Alvarez. I mean, this window is still wide open. And if you up the ante more than $30 million a year, which Carlos, I don't know that there's any suitors out there right now for 300. I don't know that Carlos wouldn't say, you know what, I'll bet on myself again.
What if you went 2 at 75 and you said $37.5 million? I mean, it gives Carlos this per year flex that he has against the other shortstops. It allows him to get to the marketplace before he's even 30, get there a second time. It creates an open window relative to what Justin Verlander has. So he's tied to Verlander in that 2-year window.
Yeah.
It lets him have his baby and live in Houston. And, I mean, I think there's a lot of advantages to be had for that. But at the same time, you're risking a ton of guaranteed money because Carlos, even if he doesn't get $300 million, he can get high $200 million at least of guaranteed money, if not more than that. But I do think that's an interesting – if you say, how about 2 years, Carlos? Let's do it again for 2 more years, and you get back to the market with a chance inside your 30s to do it all over again.
At 29, 2 years? You know what? I think it's something that Carlos would have to look at. And here's what you have to look at. A car for a kid.
Cars for Kids wants to help out the Houston Can Academy. That's who they've partnered with for young people who have a second chance, to give them a second chance at a high school diploma. It's a chance to really earn that diploma and get a head start on the rest of their lives, and Cars for Kids making it happen. How can you help out? By donating your truck, your car, or your motorcycle. It can be working or not working. They don't care. They'll come haul it off. They'll give you a $50 Visa gift card. When you mentioned you heard about it from us right here on SportsMap Videos and ESPN 97.5, and they give you a tax write-off. So make sure you do that before the end of the year.
What do you make of the moves by the Mariners and the Rangers? Is this? Do you think they're seeing a little chink in the armor here of the Astros, that maybe this window's closing?
Well, I mean, George is gone, right? Zach Greinke's gone. The Astros losing everyone knew that the Astros were going to lose their bullpen guys. They probably weren't going to re-sign them. They were probably going to get hit refresh for younger, cheaper pitchers, or at least cheaper pitchers, maybe not younger. I would operate that way. The Rangers have to buy relevancy. The Rangers just can't find it. They can't develop it. They can't draft it. The Rangers aren't relevant unless they buy it. But guess who else tried to do that? The Angels. And it has worked out very poorly for the Angels. Let's see if the Rangers can do better than the Angels in doing that, John. But this would be my argument. You look at over $550 million spent on 3 players by the Rangers. You really can't afford to miss on any one of those guys. You have to at least hit singles. And to win this division against the Astros, you're going to have to hit at least doubles with those guys.
Yeah, and guess what? Welcome to anonymity, Corey Seager. After being in Los Angeles with the excitement that in the 5th and 6th years of these deals, he and Simeon are both going to be like, what are we doing here?
5th and 6th? How about 2nd and 3rd?
Yeah. How about the 1st
It'll be
and
like
2nd and 3rd?
Oh, my God, it's hot during these day games. Oh my God, it's 104 right now.
So the last two shortstops, big name guys, are Story and Correa. What are the odds the Astros end up with either?
I put about 25%. Story splits are horrific, home and road. Like, great hitter home, awful hitter road. That's his entire career. It's not just this year. I don't think there's any way you touch Story unless it is a very reasonable, team-friendly deal, like 5 years. And I don't think Story wants to stick around for that. I think he'd rather stay in Colorado, and they'd rather keep him. And I still think the Astros are underdogs in the Carlos Correa sweepstakes because they don't want to pay what Carlos wants. So I think the odds are low. What do you think?
I think it's a little bit higher because I think there is a chance for Carlos to be here. I don't think there's any chance for Story. If you're going to pay $30 million a year, which is what they're talking about for Story, just keep Carlos Correa. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So I think Carlos Correa is a chance. I'm going to put it more like 35%. And I think that Carlos, just by tomorrow night, by midnight Wednesday, Carlos Correa is going to be big smiles and going to be signing with those Houston Astros.